We move through the world with an expectation of privacy, but in the digital age, this sense of privacy is an illusion. Every time we connect to the internet, we leave a trail of data that paints a detailed picture of who we are. The rise of voice assistants and smart home devices has ushered in a new era of surveillance, capturing far more than we realize. Algorithms collect, analyze, and exploit our data in ways we are only beginning to understand, often without transparency or accountability. Tech giants like Google, Amazon, and Facebook amass vast fortunes by extracting, refining, and monetizing our personal information. The collection of our data begins almost from birth and follows us throughout our lives, influencing opportunities and privacy. In the digital economy, data is the new currency, more valuable than oil or gold, but it comes at the cost of our privacy. We are often told we have a choice in data collection, but this is often an illusion designed to maintain the status quo of data exploitation. Imagine a silent observer in your home, always listening and witnessing your most private moments. This is the reality of many of our devices. The allure of always listening technology is undeniable, but it comes at the cost of a slow and insidious erosion of our privacy. Every word we utter in the presence of an always listening device is captured, processed, and stored, ripe for analysis and exploitation. The data collected by always listening devices is fed into algorithms that analyze our behavior, predict our desires, and influence our decisions. The first step to reclaiming our privacy in the age of always listening technology is to understand the power we possess. We have the right to say no to constant surveillance, to draw boundaries around our personal space, and to demand respect for our autonomy and our right to privacy. This begins by taking control of the devices we invite into our homes and our lives. We must educate ourselves about how these devices work, what data they collect, and how that data is being used. We must be willing to ask tough questions, to demand transparency from tech companies, and to hold them accountable for their actions. Reclaiming our digital sanctuary is not about disconnecting from the digital world entirely. It's about using technology consciously, with intention and awareness. It's about setting boundaries, establishing limits, and refusing to allow our lives to be dictated by algorithms and corporate greed. It's time to take a stand, to say enough is enough to the constant intrusion, the relentless data collection, and the erosion of our privacy. It's time to reclaim our digital lives and to create a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around. Silencing the digital eavesdropper, Android. Our smartphones are constant companions, but this connectivity comes at a price: our privacy. Android devices are particularly vulnerable to data collection. We have the power to take back control, adjust settings, disable features, and be mindful of apps to reduce data collection. Disable the always listening feature to protect your privacy. Section 3. Taking back control of your conversations, iOS. Apple devices, with their reputation for security and privacy, may seem like a safe haven in the age of digital surveillance. However, even iOS devices, with their sleek design and user-friendly interface, are not immune to the allure of always listening technology. Siri, Apple's voice assistant, is designed to make our lives easier by allowing us to control our devices with our voices. But this convenience comes at a price: the constant presence of a digital listener, privy to our conversations, our thoughts, and our most private moments. To reclaim your privacy and take back control of your conversations, it's essential to understand how Siri's always listening feature works and how to disable it. By default, Siri is activated by a wake phrase such as "Hey Siri." When your device hears this phrase, it starts recording your voice and sending that recording to Apple's servers for processing. To disable Siri's always listening feature, go to your iPhone's settings, represented by the gray gear icon on your home screen. From there, scroll down and tap on Siri and search. On the next screen, you'll see a toggle switch next to Listen for Hey Siri. Tap on the toggle switch to turn off this feature. Section 4. Beyond the wake word, a deeper dive into settings. Disabling the always listening feature is a crucial first step. Both Android and iOS devices offer a labyrinthine array of settings. One often overlooked setting is location tracking. Devices constantly track your location, building a detailed history. Another important setting to consider is app permissions. Review and manage app permissions in your phone's settings. Section 5. The price of convenience, weighing the risks and benefits. In the digital age, convenience often comes at a price: our privacy. Always listening technology promises effortless control, but at the cost of privacy. It's crucial to weigh the risks and benefits before embracing them. Convenience can blind us to the downsides of constant data collection. We must not accept the erosion of our privacy as inevitable. Convenience should never come at the cost of our fundamental rights. We have a right to privacy and control over our data. It's time to reclaim these rights and demand better technologies. The choice is ours: convenience or digital rights. Section 1. The Trojan horse in your pocket. We live in an age of apps. These seemingly innocuous pieces of software designed to entertain, inform, and connect us have become ubiquitous in our lives. We download them without a second thought, eager to experience the latest game, social media platform, or productivity tool. But beneath their shiny exteriors, many apps harbor a dark secret, a voracious appetite for our data. Like the Trojan horse of Greek mythology, apps often gain entry into our digital lives under the guise of convenience and entertainment. We grant them access to our devices, our contacts, our locations, and our most sensitive information, often without fully understanding the implications of our actions. Once inside our digital fortresses, these data-hungry apps begin their silent work, collecting, analyzing, and sharing our information with a vast network of advertisers, data brokers, and even government agencies. Our every tap, swipe, and click is tracked, recorded, and monetized, often without our knowledge or consent. The threat is not limited to malicious apps designed to steal our data. Even seemingly harmless apps such as games, fitness trackers, and weather apps often collect and share far more information than is necessary for their intended purpose. Permission granted, unlocking the data vault. Every time we download an app, we see a list of permissions. These permissions grant access to features like cameras, microphones, and locations. We often click accept without a second thought. But this can be a costly mistake. Developers often request more data than necessary. Remember, we are the gatekeepers of our own data. Section 3. Exercising your right to digital privacy. The good news is that we are not powerless in the face of this data-hungry app ecosystem. Both Android and iOS devices offer tools and settings that allow us to take back control of our data and limit the amount of information our apps can collect and share. The first step is to be more mindful of the apps we download and install. Before granting an app access to our devices, we should take a moment to consider whether the app's functionality justifies the permissions it's requesting. Do we really need a flashlight app to access our location data? Does a game really need to read our contacts list? Both Android and iOS devices allow us to review and manage app permissions after installation. We can revoke permissions that we previously granted, limiting an app's access to our data. We can also choose to only grant certain permissions when the app is in use, preventing it from collecting data in the background. By taking the time to understand app permissions and to adjust our settings accordingly, we can strike a balance between convenience and privacy. We can enjoy the benefits of the app ecosystem without sacrificing our right to control our own data. Section 1. The ever-evolving threat. In the digital realm, the battle for privacy is never truly won. It's an ongoing process, a constant tug-of-war between our desire for convenience, connection, and the relentless march of technology that seeks to monetize every aspect of our lives. Just as we become adept at navigating one privacy threat, another emerges, often more insidious and pervasive than the last. The tactics used to collect, analyze, and exploit our data are constantly evolving. New technologies, such as facial recognition software, emotion AI, and predictive policing algorithms, are being deployed in ways that blur the lines between science fiction and disturbing reality. The devices we invite into our homes are becoming smarter, more interconnected, and more capable of collecting and transmitting vast amounts of data about our lives. The Internet of Things, a network of interconnected devices embedded with sensors and software, promises to make our lives easier, but it also creates a sprawling web of potential surveillance points. Staying vigilant in the face of this ever-evolving threat requires a commitment to ongoing education, awareness, and action. We must be willing to adapt our behaviors, adjust our settings, and demand better from the companies and institutions that control the technologies shaping our world. Section 2. Staying ahead of the curve. Resources and tools. Navigating the complex world of digital privacy can feel overwhelming, but there are resources and tools available to help us stay informed and take control of our data. From privacy-focused organizations to browser extensions and security software, we can arm ourselves with the knowledge and tools we need to protect our digital lives. Organizations like the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the American Civil Liberties Union, and Privacy International are dedicated to defending our digital rights and holding corporations and governments accountable for privacy violations. These organizations provide valuable resources, including news articles, legal analysis, and practical tips for safeguarding our privacy. Browser extensions such as Privacy Badger, HTTPS Everywhere, and uBlock Origin can help block trackers, encrypt our web traffic, and prevent unwanted data collection as we browse the internet. These extensions act as a first line of defense, shielding us from the prying eyes of advertisers, data brokers, and other third-party trackers. Security software such as antivirus programs, firewalls, and virtual private networks can help protect our devices from malware, hackers, and other online threats. These tools are essential for safeguarding our sensitive information, such as passwords, financial data, and personal files. United we stand. Collective action for a more private future. The fight for privacy is not a battle we can win alone. It requires a united front of individuals, organizations, and policymakers. By raising awareness and supporting legislation, we can create a more just digital future. We must hold tech companies accountable for their data practices, engage with elected officials to pass laws protecting our digital rights. By standing together, we can make privacy a fundamental right for all. The erosion of our privacy is not inevitable. It is a choice, driven by apathy and convenience. The price of this apathy is steep, paid in our freedom and autonomy. We become complicit in our own surveillance. We cede control of our data to corporations and governments. The battle for privacy demands our active participation. The first line of defense in the fight for privacy is knowledge. Educate ourselves about how our data is collected, used, and shared. Understand the implications of the technologies we use. Share what we learn with friends, families, and communities. Engage in conversations about privacy and the actions we can take. Share this video with everyone you know. Talk to your children about online safety. Encourage your parents to be mindful online. Our collective awareness is essential for a privacy-conscious society. Privacy is not a privilege. It is a right, essential for a free and just society. It is the foundation of our identities and relationships. The digital world, for all its wonders, has become a space where this right is under assault. Our data is treated as a commodity. Our devices have become instruments of surveillance. We must reclaim the power to control our data. This is a fight for a just and equitable digital future. The time has come to move beyond passive acceptance, to shed the mantle of powerless users and embrace the role of active citizens in the digital age. We must demand better from the companies that control the technologies we use, from the policymakers who shape the rules of the digital world, and from ourselves. This is a call to action, a call to reclaim our digital rights, to hold those in power accountable, and to create a future where privacy is not a luxury but a fundamental right for all. Let us rise to the challenge together and create a digital world that reflects the values we hold dear: freedom, justice, and the right to privacy for all.